Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely pumped you're joining me today because we're going to break down one of the most transformative financial concepts in existence. We're going to look really closely at how self-made millionaires actually build their wealth. You know, so often we're led to believe that achieving a massive fortune requires a huge salary, a sudden windfall, or some incredibly lucky break, but the data and the reality shows something entirely different. The secret isn't necessarily about how much you earn. It's about how you put what you earn to work. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. What if your money could actually start earning money all on its own? I mean, think about your wallet right now. Instead of you grinding for every single dollar, what if those dollars went out and started generating their own income? This is exactly how compound interest works. It is hands down one of the absolute most powerful wealth-building tools ever discovered. It completely changes the dynamic of earning, shifting the heavy lifting away from your daily labor and transferring it directly to your capital. Section 1, the mechanics. Let's look at exactly how compounding works. Let's move to and see how this builds. Think of it kind of like rolling a snowball down a really long, snowy hill. Step 1, you invest your money. That's you packing together that initial snowball, right? And it starts earning returns. Step 2 is where the magic sparks. Those returns, they stick to the snowball, adding directly back to your original investment. So now your initial pool of money is bigger, which leads us to step 3. As it keeps rolling, future returns are earned on this new, much larger amount. The cycle repeats, and that snowball grows larger every single time it turns over. So the crucial point is simply this. Compound interest is earning interest on your interest. When you break down those 3 steps we just discussed, this is the distilled essence of the mechanics. Your original money goes out and makes a little money. Then that new money joins forces with your original money to make even more money. It's a continuous compounding loop that builds upon itself endlessly, as long as you just let it run. Because of that continuous loop, you literally don't need to start with millions to make millions. It's a lot like planting a tiny acorn. Small, consistent investments over several decades can turn into a massive, towering oak tree of a fortune. This is the actual proven secret of so many self-made millionaires. They didn't chase overnight success. They didn't rely on getting incredibly lucky. Instead, they relied on this simple mathematical certainty. They planted modest seeds, but they did it consistently. And they gave their money the time it desperately needed to grow through that compounding cycle. Section 2, the power of starting early. Because when it comes to building wealth, time is the ultimate fuel. And this brilliantly illustrates why time matters more than almost anything else. If someone starts investing regularly in their 20s, they're giving that snowball decades to loop and grow. On the other hand, someone who waits until their 40s actually has to contribute significantly more out of pocket every single month just to try and catch up. But because the early bird had so much more time for their interest to earn interest, the person who started in their 20s ends up with significantly more money. The earlier you start, the more exponentially powerful the compounding effect becomes. You simply cannot buy back lost time. Section 3, the foundation of wealth. Developing the right mindset to make this work. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer reverence professionals have for this concept. Financial experts actually refer to compounding interest as the 8th wonder of the world. Really think about that for a second. We live in a world full of highly complex financial instruments, fast-paced trading, and massive corporate buyouts. But the true experts look at the simple, quiet math of compounding and elevate it to the status of a global wonder. It really is that powerful. But, to harness a wonder, you need the right approach. Compound interest does not reward the impulsive. It strictly rewards patience, consistency, and long-term thinking. Look, getting rich overnight is exceptionally rare, and trying to force it usually just leads to losing your shirt. But if you have the patience to wait, the consistency to keep adding small amounts, and the long-term thinking to never interrupt the compounding cycle, this system will quietly and reliably create extraordinary wealth for you. For so many millionaires, this wasn't just a small part of their success. These 3 traits and the compounding they unlocked were the absolute foundation of it. So I want to leave you with this final vital question. Will you give your money the time it needs to quietly build your fortune? The math is proven, the mechanics are as simple as a rolling snowball, and the path of the self-made millionaire is laid out clearly right before us. The only missing variable is your timeline and your choices. Are you ready to let the 8th wonder of the world start working for you? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.